Isiah Thomas didn't know it at the time, but in this moment, he was making the biggest mistake of his career. A mistake that he wouldn't realize that he made until the following year when the greatest team in the history of sports was assembled and his name was left off the list. Isiah was purposely left off the team when his invitation should have been guaranteed. But this critical moment still haunts him to this very day, and I'm going to explain exactly why in this video. At the time, the Detroit Pistons was the most dominant force in basketball, winning 2 straight championships in 1989 and 1990. They were one of the most feared teams in NBA history, with their brutal style of play and their do-whatever-it-takes attitude to win basketball games. They didn't just beat you up physically. They used mental tactics and strategies to take you completely out of the game. The bad boy Pistons were different. But in the playoffs in 1991, the team they had abused for years had finally made it over the hump, sweeping the Pistons in the Eastern Conference Finals. The bad boy Pistons' reign of terror over the NBA was finally over. But in a blatant show of disrespect, the Pistons would make an emotional decision to walk off the court before the game even ended, giving one last middle finger to Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. As the leader of the Pistons, Isiah Thomas was seen as the main villain even though he didn't initiate the walkout. But even though he didn't initiate the walkout, it still didn't matter. The damage was done, and the consequences wouldn't appear for Isiah until the Dream Team roster was announced a year later. It was rumored that Michael Jordan used his influence to keep Isiah off the team. And if Michael Jordan doesn't want you on the team, you're not going to be on the team.
I would say I've paid a heavy price for that moment, and if that moment meant that I'm not selected to be on the Dream Team because of that moment, that's hurtful. That cuts deep.
Isiah Thomas, without a doubt, should have been on that Dream Team. Known as one of the greatest leaders in the history of the NBA, a fearless competitor who was a gifted playmaker, elite ball handler, and had the court vision that was almost superhuman. He led the Pistons to back-to-back titles, defeating powerhouse teams like the Celtics, Lakers, and the Bulls along the way. But Isiah made the grave mistake of offending one of the most powerful figures in sports history. This was back at a time when Michael Jordan was becoming the most famous person in the world. Everything the guy did was on front page news, and his impact started to go global. He is definitely not the person that you want to disrespect. Now, the Detroit Pistons had every right to refuse to congratulate the Bulls if that was how they was feeling at the time. It's a free country, but every action that we make on a daily basis has a reaction, and this action would cost Isiah a spot on the Dream Team, the most iconic team in the history of all sports. If you believe that Michael Jordan was petty for keeping Isiah off the team, then you have every right to believe that. But that's not the point here. Because Isiah Thomas made a quick decision out of emotion to disrespect Michael Jordan, someone with more power than him had the ability to decide his fate in a way he was never expecting, in a way that still haunts him to this day. Isiah broke one of the most powerful rules in the 48 Laws of Power, a law that we should always avoid breaking by any means necessary. Know who you are dealing with. Do not offend the wrong person. For those of you who have never heard of the 48 Laws of Power, the 48 Laws of Power is a book that I always encourage every single person I come across to read. It's designed to help you understand how power works and how people use these strategies every single day against you. I had to learn the hard way to never break this rule ever again. Some time ago, I had a problem with a manager of mine. I didn't like something that he did. So instead of pulling him to the side in a weekly meeting, I decided to call him out. During this meeting, I made a critical mistake of calling him out in front of all of our colleagues, in front of all of our peers. Do you want to know what he did? He didn't say anything about it. He didn't come back at me in front of everybody. He just took it, and he did something much worse. Because I made the stupid decision of attacking and offending a man that had more power than me in the company, he started attacking me in other ways, and I couldn't stop it. For the rest of my time there, I paid dearly for this mistake. Now, in my opinion, what I was saying to him was absolutely right. I believe in my heart to this day that I was right in what I was saying, but that still doesn't even matter. Because I escalated the situation the way I did, instead of having a one-on-one conversation with him and not saying it in front of everybody, I paid a tremendous price, and rightfully so. I learned a very important lesson during that time. He had complete control on all the projects I was on, all the projects that I wasn't on. He literally had control in the palm of his hands, my advancement in the company, and there was nothing I could do about it. Only a fool challenges somebody with power and doesn't have an actual plan. But being sloppy and acting out of emotion is only gonna hurt you, and the other person is gonna make you pay for that disrespect. Sometimes offending the wrong person, even if you didn't mean to, can cause retaliation that you wasn't expecting. I assume that most of you have seen John Wick, one of the greatest action films of all time. And that movie hides a very important lesson. Viggo's son unknowingly made the biggest mistake of his life by offending the most dangerous man on the planet, and the idiot didn't even know it. In one of the greatest monologues of all time, Viggo explains to his son, "It's not what you did that angers me so, it's who you did it to." That guy you thought was a nobody, he's one of the most dangerous men on the face of the planet, and you just stole his car and killed his dog right after he just lost his wife. So I hate to break it to you, your ignorance has literally cost you your life. You are a dead man walking. Man, I love that movie. Look, I say all of this to help you understand that you must be careful who you are offending, who you're disrespecting, because that person that you think might not be the person that you need to worry about can be the person that holds you accountable in the end. Isiah Thomas missed an opportunity so monumental, so grand, that I don't blame him for being bitter about it today. To not be a part of the dream team because the players did not want you on the team is a hard pill to swallow. This is a lesson for us all. Think before you act, because the person you may be offending could hold the power of your future and you don't even know it yet. So let me know what you think in the comment section. Am I on or am I off? Please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Anyway, that's my time. Peace.